Hey, it's Carrie. It's a warm spring day in Wisconsin, and it's time to do some work in our storm garden. Now, all of the plants that you see in there right now are perennials, so they come back, but I have a little bit of a goal to move all of the herbs to the backyard and all of the other perennials to the front yard. So we're going to do that today. So this is the backyard storm garden, and you can see chives are already really happy. They're growing really well. And there's a number of different perennials that are coming up, but we're going to move some of those to the front. And then I have a lot of seed that we're going to start back here and make this just all herbs. And please ignore the rest of the backyard, it's kind of messy. We're transplanting some cardinal flowers and some goldenrod from the backyard storm garden, which is going to become the herb garden, to the front yard storm garden, which is the perennial garden. And the way you do that, if you have recently planted them, they come out pretty easily. In this case, some of these guys were a little bit root bound in a pot that I had sitting around all year last year. So you want to break up the bottom, cut off the bottom, or break it up a little bit so that those roots aren't all stuck together. And then you just dig a little hole, a little larger than the size of this section of soil. If you picked up pots at your local garden center, it'd be the same process. So you want to just create a section in your storm garden. You can see whatever was planted in here last year really had some roots, so you might have to break that apart because some happy plant was here last year. Now we'll create a little open spot, and then take that little guy and snuggle him right down in there till the soil around his base is about the same elevation as the storm garden, maybe a teeny bit higher. And I'm going to put 2 of them in the same bin. When they grow and expand, I think 2 per side of the trough is plenty. And again, breaking apart the base. Sometimes you need an implement to help you with that process. Just to let them expand out and make the most of the root. Get them down in there and snuggle them in. And that's about it. So now we're at the backyard storm garden, which you can see these chives are really happy. These are perennial and they just come back every year. And if you've grown chives before, you know they can get a little crazy and go all over, which is why it's perfect in storm garden because it's containerized, so they aren't going to spread as much as you might have in a regular garden. Well, we need about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day for a lot of herbs to be happy, and a certain temperature of soil to get them started. So I have these cute little basil and cilantro that I got from some online store. Spade to Fork is the company, and they even give you a little marker after you plant them. So we're going to be putting them in 2 of the bins here that get about that amount of sunlight every day. And we know that we have temperatures ranging right now between 45 and 65 degrees, so it's about the right time for these guys to get started. So all we're going to do is really just get enough soil away that they're going to have about a 1/4 inch or so cover. And they should be spread out a little bit, and they're really tiny seeds, so best to do them without gloves on. And we're just going to get a couple, and the more closely you pack them, the more you're going to have to prune between them later. Otherwise, they're going to be too clumped together. So just try to spread them, and it's really hard to see that there's a little tiny seed that's going in here about 1 inch or 2 apart. And then later you want to pick the most healthy ones and then prune them out so that and by trimming them so that you don't have too many in one section. But basil's pretty happy growing here in the summer, and that should be kind of fun. Same thing with cilantro. So another thing I should have mentioned is that if you have a plant that you know you want very specifically placed, certain spread in between them in a very particular pattern, probably not the thing you want to put in the storm garden. You know, when water comes flowing through that trough, you can get quite a lot of flow happening into the bin, and sometimes soil gets moved around a little bit. So don't be surprised if you have a big storm after you plant, but before the germination starts to happen, that all of them will clump up in one little corner of the bin, and that's okay. You just thin them out later and spread them out later.